How's it going, YouTube? It is Mark here, and welcome back to PSGL Round 5 around Austria in PC Division F14. As you can see, we're around Austria, and the qualifying is a little bit on the wet side, so the qualifying, there are a lot of laps that I have already done and cut through, but as you can see, the standings, we're currently P6 with 16 points, so we need to try and score quite big points to try and move up. P1 and P2, P1's emphatic has gone quite far ahead, but P2 is still up for grabs, as long as obviously there's some controversy up front. But we're going into this first lap that you can see we're up by 6/10 into the end of the into the second sector, and qualifying was a little bit strange because sometimes one lap I had grip, next lap I didn't. So as you can see, there's a little snap of the rear there, but going quite wide on quite a lot of the turns and just really struggling in the wet sort of weather conditions. We're getting chased down by drivers behind us who are going faster, but overall we're up by 1.7 seconds, so this was quite a big improvement to the other times. The track was drying up a little bit as well, but it was still wet, so it sort of started drying, then got a little bit more wet, started drying again. As you can see now, towards the end of qualifying, like halfway through qualifying, sorry, it's a little bit more dry than what it was. We go a little bit wide, but another improvement, up by 8/10, 9/10. Did we get a full second up here? Nope, 9/10. We do a 12.9 in wet conditions, but now we're going to go into the final lap of qualifying, and we kept improving a little bit here and there. You can see here that we improved by a 10th to a 12.218 as our fastest one, but now we're going even faster now out of turn 1. We've gotten that line, we're 2/10 up and a lot of pace in this lap, so hopefully we can sync up the rest of the corners, braking at around the just after the 100-meter board. For some reason I sort of felt like that was the best sort of place for braking for me. I know a couple of the other drivers broke a little bit later, but we're going into sector 2 here, and we've dropped a little bit of time, not too much coming out of that corner, but we do regain it sort of in this corner here. Now going into the fast left-hander, we actually get this corner very well, and as you can see, the time is just going up. A little bit of a slide, but nothing too serious. And then now from this corner, going into the final sector, you can see we're already up by 4/10, and this would put us up around about the P6 range. As you can see, we're P10 at the moment. And then in the final corner, we just got a little bit too wide and actually invalidate, but 5/10, that's what we would have gone up by, so 11.6. That would have put us about P6, 7, but going into the race, we can see that we start in P11, and I sort of, don't want to say fell asleep, but sort of the reaction time, I can't remember exactly what I was doing, but I wasn't really paying attention. So we were a little bit late, dropped a few positions, but going out of turn 1, we get a good run around the outside of the cars that sort of slowed down. We've got my teammate right behind me on hard, so we're running 2 different strategies, and we go up the inside into turn 3. We're a full lock and we just get squeezed. We also squeeze the Mercedes and pick up our first warning of contact, but nothing really sort of happened. The race stayed dry throughout. It actually got warmer, so the track became a lot hotter. Sun came out as well, but this first lap we sort of dropped 1 position, but we didn't really get any damage, which was quite good. I know some of the other cars got a little bit of damage on their front wings, especially in turn 1 and turn 3. Well, I still call it turn 2, but turn 3 officially. And going into the final 2 corners on this first lap, not really that much carnage, but we do pick up our first track limits, and if this game is anything like real life, there will be a lot of penalties given out for track limits, especially in this final sector. But you can see we're going back through this sector again, lap 3 now, so DRS has been enabled. We've managed to get into the DRS zone, but now the Alfa Romeo is going to try and make a move on our teammate. Or is he? Nope, he just brakes really late and takes out our teammate, which promotes us up 2 places, up to P10. which is great for us, but obviously not that great for my teammate. And they've dropped 6.5, 7 seconds behind, and now I need to try and basically get back into the DRS of the Mercedes duo who are working together. And we ended up getting into it, but then we sort of kept pinging in and out of the DRS sort of zone, using up a lot of ERS. And as you can see, we're currently on lap 15 now. The sun has come out, the track is fully dry, and we're planning on going into the pits for this lap. But one of the things that I've sort of realised on this track is I always seem to make a mistake in the same two places. Going into this corner, I accidentally touch the inside curb, and then that is it. As you can hear, obviously not too happy. When I did all the practice for this race, I didn't actually spin in that corner once, but then in the actual race I spun, which was pretty annoying. But as you can see, a lot of drivers are actually getting penalties now. There's 3-second penalties, 9-second penalties, but we're going to go in and change to a hard set of tyres to try and go the distance now of the race. All the way to the end. It should be quite easily done, but we're going into the pits now. Our teammate will overtake us, and I think we come out stone dead last, if I'm not mistaken. I think the Alpine overtakes us in the pit lane while we're obviously getting our tyres changed. So it's going to be a big challenge to try and get back up to everybody else, considering we did one spin. The rest of the drivers at the front are all in one big pack, but now going into lap 18, we've actually caught the Alpine. I don't think the Alpine's pitted yet, so that is why we've been able to sort of catch up with him. And going into this straight, we pick up the DRS, they get a slight wheel spin on the exit, and we just decide we're just going to go for it. No messing around, no waiting around. But in front of us we've got Lipix, one of the top runners in this division, and he is on new mediums, I believe. And oh well, he's either on new mediums or he's pitted. I think he's on new mediums, and he's ended up spinning, or he got spun. But now we're just going to continue on trying to break the DRS, and as you can see, within 3 corners we've already broken the DRS to the Alpine. Not trying to touch that inside curb again to let us spin, but at the moment we're sort of doing 107.3 was our fastest lap that we've done so far. So actually it's quite slow compared to everyone else, and as you can see, lap 35, every single driver around us has got a penalty. The Mercedes makes a mistake up ahead, and we've sort of caught up to that Mercedes, and as you can see, P7, Lumi, has also got a 15-second penalty, and we are on that cusp of 15 seconds. So now we just need to push for this final lap of the race to try and get up to P7 to at least give us some points, because our teammate seems to be 11 seconds behind us with 6 seconds of penalties, so that's not going to be too great. And now I believe we were on 2 warnings at this moment in time, so actually we couldn't push too hard. But catching up to the Mercedes, as you can see in the slight distance a little red light flashing, which means that they are low on ERS. We don't actually need to overtake the Mercedes. All we need to do is just stay close enough to be able to be within 3 seconds of the Mercedes, and then 15 seconds in behind the Williams. Going into this final sector 2, and we go a little bit wide, and as the time is going up, 15.3, so we just need to have a very good final sector. We touch that inside curve, which was quite risky, but actually we get good exit, and the Mercedes gets a terrible exit. But I don't know what happened with the Williams, whether it was just the medium tyres, but we do sort of catch up into the 15 seconds. So we've got 15.1 going into the second to last corner, and final corner we come out of it, it's still 15.1. and do we actually get it? Because at the moment it says no, but we do. We end up taking that position. We take P7 on the hard tyres with all the penalties, 15 seconds behind everybody else, so that would have been our spin added together. But we finished P7, the teammate finishes P10, so that is points for both of us. Not the best points, but McLaren are at the top now, I believe, in the driver's standings after today's race. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope to see you in the next video, which will be WOR. I can't remember what track it is. I'll have to have a look, but that will be out on either Wednesday or Thursday. So take care.